A blessed day to all of you. Once again, a warm welcome to Talks with Nalaka. As you know, Talks with Nalaka is a program where we talk about leadership, about instances where we can better our leadership abilities, capabilities, and identify where we are weak, and give you some information and nuggets as to how you can do better with what you are actually doing right now. So today I have a very special guest with me. He's Marit Fernando, and we warmly welcome him to Talks with Nalaka. A brief introduction about Marit is that he's the Group Managing Director of Zion Holdings. And under the Zion Holdings umbrella, there are two more companies called Genesis, which is an interior decorating company, and also Arcadia, which is a cafe and a restaurant. So he owns three businesses, if you look at it in that way. And as for his academic qualifications, he is a CIMA qualified accountant, and also he has the credentials of ACCA. He was the first place in Sri Lanka and 10th overall in the world. Also, he has an MBA from the University of Wales, and as a young entrepreneur, I'm sure he can speak of many qualities and necessities that a young entrepreneur who is launching out a business or trying to revive their business as to what they can follow in their venture. So welcome, Marit Fernando. Nice to have you.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I would like to ask you is, as you know, in this new situation after the COVID-19, according to the climate in the country, many people are trying to initiate new businesses. They are looking for new ventures and start trying to do new things. Now, because you are a young entrepreneur who have launched many new businesses, can I ask you the first question? Now, if a person is going to launch a business, what sort of a mindset, what are the things that he must take into consideration, and what do you think are the main points, main important things that that person must consider?
Actually, considering this situation, Pastor, I think mainly people has to see what you are really good at is the most important thing. If you are venturing into a new thing, most important thing that you should understand is you should not try out new things, like to reinvent new things at this particular situation. So if you really feel like you are really good at doing this thing, I think this is the time that you should capitalize on that particular area. Because trying out new things and burning your hands might not be very justifiable at this moment, because we yet to discover how the economy is going to turn around. And maybe if you're doing something, just continue that, maybe try to increase in a smaller scale, take it to the next level in a smaller scale, but not trying out really hard and burn your hands. And again, you have to see if you're trying out new things, whether you're going to do it a capital intensive one, or else whether you are going to make sure you are not going to run out of cash in running the business, because it's not easy always like setting up a business is one thing, but again running it, managing the working capital is another thing. So in that particular period, if we are what we are staying in now, I feel like you have to really be mindful of what kind of a business that you are going to do. And mainly even this situation or any other situation, I feel you have to be really passionate about what you are doing. That's the most important thing. It's like sometimes I think over through night. Sometimes you can't. I will not fall asleep even if I get one business idea. I do my numbers. I overthink it. I do my marketing strategies. Write down in my diary. So many things I do because I'm like so passionate about it. So I think if you are really looking at venturing out in a new idea, of course I agree. Yes, you should always try, no matter how hard the situation is. But I think you should be really passionate so that you will not run out of interest with the difficulties or the challenges you face.
Can we just talk about how did you come about opening your own venture, opening your own company? Now we know that you studied in the best school in Sri Lanka at St. Joseph's College. So after your studies, after St. Joseph's College, can you just share a little bit of your journey as to how you became an entrepreneur who owns three companies? Can you just give us a gist of it?
Actually, I'm coming from a background where my parents used to do their own thing. So initially my parents did catering, and now they are into more plant nursery, selling plants and flowers. So I always had that entrepreneurship background in my family as well. Again, thank to God, I think I got some good career guidance from college. Then thereafter to start SEMA, and even I was selected to university. But I took a decision, no, I'm not going to spend 4 or 5 years on the degree, but I'm going to continue SEMA. At the same time, I got working experience joining KPMG. So I think that's one of my turning points in my life, taking the first correct place to start work with. So 7 years solid I got experience in terms of numbers, working with that, audit experience, procedures, all that, working that. Then I moved into management consulting. And straight away from Zima, I did my master's ACCA. Now I don't think nobody will check whether I have a degree when I have master's and other qualifications. So I think in that way, I saved like 4 or 5 years of my time. And meantime, I got the professional qualifications plus the working experience both. Then KPMG, from KPMG, I got the management consulting experience as well as auditing experience. Then I got the opportunity to work with this amazing person called Madam Otara Gunawardhan. So I joined Embark, setting it up, Embark operation, then finance, then where I got into more different diversified field of management experience, then learning from her the good leadership qualities, entrepreneurship, that always gave me the motivation to start my own thing. So I was with her for around 2 years, close to 2 years. Thereafter I started small, parallelly I started my small consulting firm. From there only I developed the group.
I think for about 5 years since you launched your business.
3.5 years.
3.5 years. So 3.5 years, what do you see are the pitfalls, or what are the dangers, what are the things that they must be careful when they want to launch their own business idea and open their own business?
I think the main point is running a company or a business idea is being about working with people. Being a good leader matters a lot. So example, you can be really good to people and then motivate them all the time, but if you don't have enough control or leadership over them, then you will not get the best out of them. I would say working with people is the hardest thing in any organization. So managing those people is the hardest thing, the main pitfall any organization, any leader who starts new business will fall into. So it takes some time for you to adjust yourself. It becomes a part of your personality when you become a leader. So you have to change your own personality to treat different people in different way and make sure end of the day people are fairly treated as well as you achieve the goal of your own business. So
If we can just stress upon that point a bit, when you say people management, what are the wrong decisions a business leader can take in managing people? How can he go wrong? What should he be careful of?
I will tell you exactly from my experience. Sometimes you overhire people. Too many people in your organization gives you too many costs to manage. That has been one point that I have cut down now. I have understood. You have to manage the correct numbers. Because this end of the day salaries and everything comes to overheads. For a business, managing overheads has been the utmost important thing than ever now. With the current crisis we are facing and the last year the Easter attacks and everything we had in our country, I think in managing people, managing the overhead is the most important thing that has become now. And again, treating people with proper policies, procedures and everything also come into play. Sometimes even after qualifying so much in practice, I was thinking, after learning all that, am I actually practicing? What's the point? But after going through so many drawbacks and again the economical condition, I understood that proper monitoring, procedures, without that actually it's very hard to run a company, to run a perfect company. So managing people, then managing your overheads and proper monitoring, looking at your numbers, everything other pitfalls if you miss out will affect your entire business.
Now, because of passion, maybe some people are driven too quickly sometimes to open their second or third business, and we have seen many people fall into problem because of that. Now, as an entrepreneur and who handles 3 businesses, how do you know that you are ready to open your second business or you are ready to launch the next business idea that you have parallelly to what you have already? So how do you recognize, how do you understand the situation? Can you just give us a few points for that?
Okay. So if I take why I diversified in different field is actually it's good if you can diversify yourself into different ventures, then your risk is always mitigated in different ways. Sometimes your cash flow models will be different from one business to another. But the main point, as you asked, what you should keep in your mind is how practical for you to run both the businesses. If your one business is at a very small stage, like an early stage, and venturing into another at the same time will be really hard for you to manage, because at the baby stage you need a lot of attention to that particular business. So I think for you to invest into another venture, you have to make sure that particular business is run on proper procedures and well run, with you have to look at all the overheads, cutting down numbers, make sure it achieve the break even, everything is perfectly running. Then only you will have the talent to and the capabilities to start the next business. Without that, it will be for you, it will be a bit hard to manage. And again, you have to train yourself to be a multi-skilled player as well. So I think even my past experience plus employees has always pushed me to do different things at the same time. So as I said earlier, your personality, your skills also have to improve in terms of managing two businesses at the same time. Sometimes I feel like I'm very thrilled about the new interior projects I'm doing or the construction work. At the same time, you should be able to give the same interest to your other field, cafe and restaurant as well. That is the most important thing. So as long as you can manage that interest, you don't show less interest to another, you can manage the both. So be very mindful about the correct time on how the other businesses have grown.
Now, the businesses that you are handling, business consultation, interior designing, and cafe and restaurant, all three very different skill sets.
Yes.
Very different areas, varieties. Now, how did you make that decision that you want to go into these such a different aspects, different skill sets? How did you make that decision? Did you discuss it with a team, or was it your own interest or your own charisma that helped you to go through? Or how did you do you have some knowledge about those skills that are needed for those fields? How do you develop that? Because some people might not have the skill set for a business idea that they have. So for them to launch out, what should they consider about?
Actually, I don't agree on the point that you will not have that particular skill set to launch a business. So if you take my background is totally finance. What I have learned in finance, my all foundations are in finance, but I am mostly into now interior and construction work on a totally different food sector. It's all about how you see your vision in your life. So I have my own vision of how I'm going to build my group. So you might start one business, you might close down one business, some businesses you might continue. So it's all depend on, I think, having the right vision of how we are going to run the business. So always you can get a good set of people close to you, a good team, so that they will help you, give you the necessary knowledge that you want. And it's all about learning. I'm not doing anything related to rocket science. So all that interior, all the little finishes, or how we're going to do it and how long it takes. So all that I spend my personal time and learned about it. So you can't run a business without knowing anything about it. So at least to a certain extent, you should be able to learn about that particular business. In that way, thereafter, it's about knowing, putting correct people and policies, procedure to run that particular business.
So you must be prepared to put in hard work.
Yes.
Yes.
These days, especially, if you take sort of let down being a boss and to be a work at ground level and working, making sure everything is perfect. So because you can't take any shortcuts or allow any mistakes these days. So especially on a time like this, you have to be in it everything. So I personally try to manage everything. Both the businesses run now with help of my team, of course, but trying to be at it.
And let's talk about the, as you know, last year you spoke a little bit about the Easter bomb attack and also the COVID-19, which has affected the society, businesses, and many people right now. Under this climate, under this cloud, if a business is struggling, we'll say, because of the recent situations, but they want to navigate forward, they want to move forward, what are the pointers that you could give them immediately, what they have to do, and long term, what should they perceive? What sort of a support can you give? What sort of advice can you give them?
Now you always believe the people who have succeeded in life has always come a long journey. The personal people I follow, even maybe 20-30 years of their business life, they would have gone through much more worse things. Maybe your entire store burns down or something like that, but it doesn't affect anybody else, but you are totally affected. But if you totally keep on whining about it, you will never come out of it. So I think these are the places where God gives you the opportunity in terms of looking at where you did wrong and what proper steps that you need to take in terms of taking the business forward. Actually, I have communicated with Pastor Nalaka as well so many times. This actually helped me to reopen my eyes, where I have seen so much of overhead that I could have cut down previously to run my business. Then so much of ways I would have put more effort on particular areas. So I identified all of that. So mostly I'm recommending all of the people relook at your business model, see where you can cut down all the overheads, and as I said earlier, don't be a boss now. Go to a worker level even, try to help everybody and manage everything to a certain extent until you understand how the economy will turn around and how businesses will turn around. So that keep a control hand in everything what you do. Then thereafter you can go to next steps of expanding and taking it forward.
So as a boss or entrepreneur, owner of a company, I can ask you a personal question. What does it feel like asking some of your employees to leave, or you to cut down on your staff that is working with you, and you have to ask them to find another job or whatever? How does it feel? Because obviously the employee will be angry with the employee. They will not see the logic behind it because it's affecting them. But what sort of a picture does the owner see, the entrepreneur see? What sort of a thing that can you give regarding that?
The leader or the entrepreneur always have to see the big picture. To be an example, on the Easter attacks time, I had more than 70 people in my group, and I didn't go for any single salary cut, and was trying to keep all that because of the too hard love and keeping them. But before the corona even, I understood. I had to communicate my office staff, some of the staff, to tell them, look here, I'm finding it hard to pay the salaries, how the economy is turning around. Please take your enough on time and find a job. So I'm happy with when this comes now. Actually, I have a less burden in terms of that. I gave them proper enough time to find a new opportunity. But to be honest, I'm happy to say that I will be doing much better, I know, with God, than maybe the numbers more than what I did earlier even, but with less overheads and a new setup that I have put in place in terms of continuing my businesses. So sometimes understanding people, they might understand, they might not understand, they will take you to police, they will take you to labor courts, labor departments. These are challenges in the business that you need to take. Be strong and take right decision and compensate them properly. I know it's very hard time, it's not easy, even I haven't, but I have to. But I have to take that commitment. I will be doing that commitment and compensate them properly and taking things forward. So these are the normal challenges that comes in life. Even normal times I have learned from my previous bosses how you should take the strong call. So I had to take.
Great. The last question, Malit, is now with post-COVID, people are thinking of what sort of a trend would take place, what sort of a climate for business, what are the things I should focus on. Is there any areas, specific areas that we can make the most of in these opportunities? What do you have to say to them?
Actually, it's going to be a new world. So everything will be changed, and how people think, how people perceive things, it's going to be actually a new thing. In that way, identifying what market segments are less affected, and how you can turn around your business to cater that particular market, or else how to take your business overheads down and run in a very smooth way, and practicing working from home, and maybe going to a lot of subcontracting, finding freelancers. So based on your different business model, relook at it, write down where you are struggling, you are burning. How can you run the same business model without having those overheads? And what kind of key team that you need to have in terms of running that particular business. So those are the things that you need to relook at actually, and take the things. As I said earlier, be careful when you're trying out new things in this particular time period. Study how the economy is going to turn around. We are yet to see, maybe in another 3 months, 4 months, 6 months time, how things change, how tourism industry going to help, because it's all about money circulation in the economy. So it has to start again. All the businesses, everybody has to start making money to money circulation to happen. So wait, be patient, and trying out small things and see what will work.
Great. In conversation with Malit Fernando, we found out about various businesses, trends, pitfalls, new trends and what we have to do. So thank you very much, Marit, for coming today. And we speak God's blessing over the business endeavors that you are taking over, and may God expand them and take it to a new height. And the listeners, I hope you got some nuggets today. You have some direction. And of course, if you need further help, Marit also has a business consultation firm, so you can always contact him and he will be able to support you, not free of course, for a fee. But next week, once again, we will be with another person in a different aspect in leadership with Talks of Nalaka. So thank you for joining with us. Have a blessed day. Thank you.